Hello friends, I'm Louie Louie and today I'll talk about a new release, a very awaited release, Humanz by Gorillaz. This is the first album released by Gorillaz since the fall, 2011. An album that honestly I didn't like so much. I was a little skeptical about this Humanz album too, but I liked it. I think Humans is a more mature album and better than their previous one. By the way, Humans is an album that nearly didn't happen because the two Gorillaz creators, composer Damon Albarn and illustrator Jamie Hewlett, broke their partnership up after the release of The Fall, and Damon Albarn released a solo album, a Blur album, two operas. So many fans did not believe that Gorillaz would be reunited again, but here they are. They came back together with this album, this good album, and just announced a huge tour and even a rock festival and a TV series also. As for the album, many people loved it and many people hated. I've read many reviews saying that the album is glorious and many others saying that Humans is poor, especially in Europe, where many people didn't like Gorillaz' hip-hop approach. In my opinion, neither glorious nor poor. To me, Humans is a good album. Humans is a conceptual album, a politically charged conceptual work, in fact, as well as the other Gorillaz albums. When Damon Albarn started thinking about this album, he told his partners, his special guests, to imagine Donald Trump had been elected president of the United States of America. But when he said this to his collaborators, nobody could have imagined that Donald Trump, in fact, would win the election. So he won, and Damon's friends asked him, "Hey man, do you have a crystal ball?" Although the album talks a lot about this topic, we don't hear any explicit reference to Donald Trump himself. Actually, Damon Albarn said something very interesting, something like, okay, Trump was elected the new president of the United States of America. We can't fight against it, so at least let's try to have a party. A party that is Humans here again. An album that talks a lot about racism, mental diseases, the influence of the internet, military intervention, etc., etc., etc. Humans, as well as the other albums released by Gorillaz, features a lot of special guests like Vince Staples, Pavin Everett, De La Soul, Grace Jones, the gospel legend Mavis Staples, Benjamin Clementine, Noel Gallagher. Yes, Noel Gallagher, the guy from Oasis, the band that didn't tolerate Damon Albarn and his band Blur during Britpop's heyday in the 90s, when Gorillaz released their first album in 2001. Noel said, appalling music for fucking 12-year-olds. Still 16 years later, they worked together and Damon temporized. He said, "He's fantastic in the studio. It's nice when you see how someone goes about their business. He's great." Yeah, cool. Now I'll talk about some songs which I've liked from this album. Strobel Light with the special guest Pavin Everett is a nice song that reminds me of an Earth, Wind and Fire style. Andromeda is a tribute to Ethel, Damon's mother-in-law, who died when Damon was writing this song. The melody reminds me of the classic song Billie Jean, written by Michael Jackson. Very good song. The trio De La Soul is the special guest on the track Moments, which one of my favorites from this album. I liked the synthesizers played by Jean-Michel Jarre very, very much. This song is like old school Gorillaz featuring a great techno beat. Grace Jones sings Charger, another good song. Busted and Blue is the only track in the entire album that Damon Albarn sings alone, without special guests. The song's very similar to some tracks from his solo album, Everyday Robots, released in 2014. The lyrics talk about an attempt to disrupt ourselves from technology, which is very ironic because Gorillaz is such a multimedia band with their characters, animations, the TV series, etc. Submission is a great track too, something like a rhythm and blues jam session with special guests Danny Brown and singer Kelela. Hallelujah Money is a very interesting mock gospel featuring Benjamin Clementine on vocals. And the last song, my favorite one, is We Got the Power, featuring singer Jenny Beth from the Savage Band and guitar player Noel Gallagher from Oasis. And all together they sing, We've got the power to be loving each other no matter what happens. So despite being a politically charged album, Humanz finishes in an upbeat way. In my opinion, the website Consequence of Sound summed up Humanz in a perfect way. In the end, Humanz structures itself like we are watching Gorillaz host a party in a trendy club, all while the world burns. And it's exactly this that I adored on this album. Actually, as I said, I didn't like some songs, but I loved the album concept. By the way, I think Gorillaz is a band that works better with concepts than with songs, just my opinion. And I think that's why Gorillaz is such an interesting act. Today, many people don't listen to an entire album. Many people don't have the patience to sit and listen to 50 minutes of music. I believe that the majority of kids under 15 years old today have never listened to an album from start to finish. And maybe Humanz helped these poor kids to learn to listen to an entire album. In fact, it's a good thing to do. And that's it. I wanted to talk about this new release, Humanz. And what about you? Did you like Humanz? Do you think it's an album that does justice to Gorillaz' body of work? Please leave your comments, subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye.